This is the Show Up Show, helping coaches, service providers, leaders, and entrepreneurs to master showing up to build their brand, authority, and grow their business. Whether it's showing up on social media, in front of an audience, on a live interview, or an actual stage, this podcast is going to help you overcome visibility fear to confidently brand yourself as the authority in your industry. I'm Joanne Chan, aka the Confidence and Visibility Queen, and I am on a mission to share how I went from a nobody to the confident leader I am today, what I have learned, and what I have done to build my brand and business from scratch, and help you do the same so that you can make an impact in the world with the meaningful work that you do. Whether you are new to the business world or feeling unsure about public visibility, or you want to be seen and heard in a way that doesn't feel icky but authentic to you, you will discover how to become visible in your own unique way and show up as the confident entrepreneur you have always dreamed about becoming. Now, it's time to get you show up and be confidently visible so you can easily attract more clients and opportunities for yourself. Our guest today is the expert on marketing team performance. He coaches marketing executives to help them build world-class marketing teams that achieve record-breaking results. He has generated over $100 million in incremental revenue for some of the largest and most recognizable brands in the world. He's a seasoned speaker and regular contributor to respected industry publications like At Age, At Week, TechCrunch, and more. He's passionate about sharing practical insights on building high-performing marketing teams, maximizing results, and creating predictable growth. So guys, help me in welcoming the high performance marketing team coach, Tim Parkin. Hi Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Joanne. I'm so excited to be here and to talk with your audience, especially given that although I help marketing teams, I'm a team of one. And so I've been in their shoes, I'm in their shoes, and I'm excited to share everything I know.
Awesome. So the first question that I have for you though is, what are some of the common challenges that everyone, I wouldn't say everyone, but people like entrepreneur or business owner or marketing teams face when trying to build their business or grow their brand?
There's two real big problems I think everybody struggles with, whether they realize it or they don't. And the first is knowing who your customer really is. And we think it's easy, right? I sell to this type of person or that job title. But what I mean is really intimately knowing your customer. The more you can know your customer, the more you can be a friend of your customer and know, the other things that interest them, that excite them, that they're worried about, the better you can market to them. So knowing your customer is number one. And the second one, ironically enough, is finding them. Because oftentimes we know the right people, right? But it's hard to find them. I'd say, oh, well, they're on Facebook or they're on LinkedIn. That's not good enough. Where do you go to actually find the exact right people, the perfect fit clients? So knowing who your customer is intimately and finding them are the two really big challenges that I think everybody struggles with.
Right. Because right now, I also have been talking a lot, talking to a lot of my people, and they have been telling me they don't know where to find them. So what are your solutions for that? Like, okay, first, how do we know exactly who our customers are?
Yeah, I think it's a sequence. So first you have to really know who they are before you can go and find them, right? If I said, go find a certain type of tree, you'd have to, what are you looking for? You got to know which type of tree it is. So I think that's first, is who is your real perfect customer? And I've been through this journey myself. I work with marketing teams, I work with marketing executives. It's pretty easy to say a person with this job title at this size company, that's my client. But over time, I realized there are certain attributes or criteria. For example, someone who's new as a marketing leader, who's been promoted or is just now managing a team and never managed a team before. That's an attribute or criteria of my perfect clients because they need the most help and they're in a new situation and they're concerned about how they'll look and how they'll feel and what to do. In addition to that, there's also not just demographics, but psychographics in terms of what people really care about. And so again, for me, I want to work with people who have the same values as me. And one of my values is being remote is a good thing. There's a lot of big companies right now that don't believe that they think we need to be in the office, we need to have the people in the cubicles so I can watch them and all that. I don't believe that. And so if you believe that, we're not a good fit to work together. And so that's another criteria I can use to help understand who my perfect fit client is, who my ideal client is. then it's a lot easier to go and find the right people, because now I can put the right message out there that repels those people who are not a good fit and attracts the people who are a good fit. And I know which groups and which conferences to go to because I have a more defined criteria. So that's the first step, is figuring out for you what really matters. But there's a second step we can talk about in just a second.
Yeah, okay. I love that you talk about building a team virtually because right now I think many people are online entrepreneurs or are business owners, or even they own a traditional business. They are still, like still a lot of work are being done online. And in today's world, right, especially with social media, with AI, because that is also like something that I'm trying to, work on myself because I'm thinking about putting
Yes.
a team together. But because I'm also, I'm recruiting, like working with people from all over the world, like on different countries. Like how do we build a high performing team virtually?
Yeah, it's a big challenge. And I think oftentimes in building any team, we rely on people. And
Mm,
that's good. People are generally trustworthy and reliable, and you can find the right people. But people are infallible. We get busy. We have too many priorities. We're bad at managing our time. And so you need the right people, but you also need the right process. And so the formula for performance is people times process equals performance. So, for example, if you have exceptional world-class people, but you have no process, then your performance is going to go up and down, because people sometimes will have a good day, sometimes they won't, sometimes they'll forget something, etc. Likewise, if you have really good process but really average junior people, they can follow the process but they can't think creatively, they can't think outside the box, they're not going to deliver in a world-class way. So you need exceptional people and you need world-class process. And I think process is the missing piece for if you're an entrepreneur or an individual, or if you're a big team. I work with both, and particularly large companies, and they have a lot less process than you'd think. And so I really believe that process is one of the things that allows remote teams to be so successful, because it doesn't matter if you're working 3 hours a day or 12 hours a day, or if you're on the beach, if you have the right process and can follow that, that solves so many problems and prevents unnecessary meetings and time wasting and delays and failure work and all sorts of things.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So how do we, let's say, okay, because some of my listeners, they are also like solo entrepreneurs. They don't have a team right now. What is the first step to finding the right people? Because that is something that I'm struggling with as well. I couldn't find the right people. Maybe you will tell me, you need to know
Yeah,
exactly like who you're looking for. Then it's like, finding your ideal
it's
client,
true.
same thing, right? You need to know who you're looking for, then you will find the right person. But I've been working with like deep, freelancers and even like virtual assistants. I couldn't really find the right one. So what is the first step though to start building a team, putting a team together for solo entrepreneurs?
Yeah, there's two steps. I've struggled with this for years. I've been through maybe 7 or 8 virtual assistants over the years, and I have one now. We've been working together for over a year, and it's been amazing. And I'll tell you how I found her. But first, I think what most people do wrong, that I did wrong, is we say, I need someone who can help me, and you don't really have clarity on what you want help with. And I need someone who has extra time, who can support me in a variety of things and be a generalist and just be my assistant. I haven't found success with that, and I don't know many people who have. What I have found success with is being very clear. Here's the 7 things that I'm doing right now that I shouldn't be doing, that are tasks that anybody could do with the right training or with the right guidance or with the right coaching. And then taking those things and building a test. And so my test was a Google Doc. It was a document that said, step 1, go and write a comment on this LinkedIn profile. Don't actually post it, but write the comment and show me what you write. Step 2, go to Canva and create a graphic for promoting this thing. Step 3, etc. I had 7 different tasks like that. And then when I went to hire someone, I interviewed 10, 12 people, and I said, I'll pay you, go do this test, put your results in this folder, and then if I like them, schedule a call with me, and I'll cancel if you're not good enough, but then we can have a call and talk about it then. So you save your time, because you're not meeting with these people all up front. You're seeing in advance kind of what they can do on the things you're going to have them do. And it sounds so simple. If you're listening to this, you're probably thinking like, well, duh, that's common sense. But for me, it was game changing, because my thought was, we hire someone and then we have them do the work and then we evaluate it. Why not have them do the work up front and evaluate it and then hire them if they're good? And by being so specific about the exact tasks they're going to do, now, great, just keep doing what you're doing. And now let's build the process around that. I trust you. I know you can do a good job. And instantly, when looking at like 7 or 8 people, you see the 2 or 3 who are really good and the rest who are not good, and it saves you so much time, and it makes it a much easier decision in the decision process as well.
Well, I really like that because I am a a perfectionist. So it's like I need to do the work like myself, like most of
Yes.
the time, right? So that I make sure it is done perfectly. And so yeah, it's something that, yeah, thank you so much for that. I think it's gonna be so helpful for me personally, like to see what they can do, what they are capable
Yes.
of doing, and then decide whether they are the right people that I want to hire. So yeah, because most of the time is that I give them, I hire them, I pay them, then I ask them, this is what you need to do for me, and the results, is not what I am happy with.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
don't want to work with them anymore. So yeah, thank you so much for that. It's so helpful.
If I may add to that, yeah, what I had them do afterwards is when they finished the results of the test and sent it to me, I had them record a short video on Loom and just say, here's the things I did and review them. And then I asked them which of these were the most enjoyable for you, which are you most passionate about and really enjoy, and which of these was a real struggle for you. And I could see, my assistant now, her name's Michelle, she's amazing. But the thing she struggled with was Canva and graphic design. And she was open about it. And she said, I struggle with this. I'm not good at graphic design. And so that really helped me because if I tried to hire someone who was perfect, who could do everything exactly how I wanted to, like you're saying, she's not a good fit for that. But she can do the 6 out of 7 things really well, some better than I can do. So graphic design was not a big deal for me. I can find someone else to do that piece, or I can try to do it myself. So I would say in this case, I'm also a perfectionist, but not trying to find someone who can do everything perfectly, but who can do some of the stuff really well has been a game changer for me.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just like us, right? If we do everything ourselves, then we'll get overwhelmed. So it's the same for our teams, right?
Yes.
And why do you so the other question that I have is like, why are most marketing teams are always overwhelmed? Is it because they have too many things on their plate, they have to do everything?
That's the best question I've been asked in a long time. Yes. I think it's the right question to ask too, because they are always overwhelmed. I think as entrepreneurs, we're also always overwhelmed. There's always a new tactic to pursue or a new channel or people to follow up with. There's so much to do as an individual and as a team. You would think more people means more people to do less things, but instead it's more people trying to do more things, and they're just the overwhelm is exponential. It's multiplied. So I think it's an individual problem as well, that there's just too much stuff we're chasing. And one of the things I talk to my teams about is ruthless prioritization, not prioritization, but ruthless prioritization. We have to be really brutally honest with ourselves. Does this really matter? Will it get the result that we want to get? Can we actually do it? And is it worth pursuing for a long time? As entrepreneurs, I don't know about you, but I struggle with shiny object syndrome. There's a new thing or AI, and I'm like, let's try it. This sounds great. It could save me so much. And you spend, 20 hours learning it and messing around with it, and you've done nothing. And now you're behind on all the stuff you probably should have done anyways. And you got a list of people you got to follow up with that you haven't, so there's things like that we just chase the wrong things instead of sticking to the fundamentals and doing them really well and doing them consistently over time. And I think that's just, our eyes are bigger than our stomach, where we want to have the easy button. We want to have the easy way. We want to constantly be learning new things. That's a good thing, but we have to get the fundamentals and build the process and get the team in place to do those things really well consistently. Then we can have the time to enjoy that cake and enjoy learning and trying new things that are just fun.
Wow, yeah, I could totally relate to that. So in today's, rapidly evolving marketing landscape, how do you stay up to date? Because we still have to like, there's the AI and all that, new apps, we still have to kind of know what is going on in order to keep ourselves like informed, and all
Yes.
the decision that we make, right? We have to, so how do you stay up to date with the latest industry trends and then translate them into actionable steps for your clients or even for yourself?
It's hard, right? Because the one thing marketing does is change. Every day it feels like there's new stuff to learn or to know or to do. And so part of it, I think, is not paying attention to it. Again, the fundamentals and sticking to what works. And then having a sliver of time, 20% of your time or less on let's experiment, let's test new things, let's learn new things. I think you should constantly be learning. But again, we need to put it in perspective of let's do the stuff we know we should do that we know works. And then over here, let's have some time, one day a week or a couple hours a week to learn, to test, to experiment, to try new things, because it will keep changing. And you can't just keep doing the same things forever and hope to succeed. But at the same time, you can't only do new things and hope to find some stability, because tomorrow will be something else new. AI will keep changing. There'll be some new software tool we want to use and try. There's always something new. And so we have to control ourselves a little bit. And that's really hard as an entrepreneur, when your drive is let's try everything and let's chase this and new opportunity. It's really difficult.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I know how true is that. So because one of the things that you help your clients, or I would say, large companies are to create predictable growth. So
Yes.
how do you actually predict growth? Like, is it based on the results that you have generated, or?
Yeah. It's actually a lot easier than you'd think. And it's been surprising to me because I discovered this, I stumbled on it. And then as I shared it with more and more bigger companies, I realized they had no clue. And I'll tell you the secret because it's pretty easy. Um, if you take that 80-20 rule and you do 80% of the stuff that you know works, the fundamentals, and get really world class at them, that's what the best companies do is they do the things that they know work really well consistently over time. And then in that 20%, you need to experiment. And I call it test driven marketing because you have to test everything. There are many things, even if you're listening to this now, that you do that you think, I know this works because it worked for so and so, or I saw another company do this, or I did this before and it worked. But you have to constantly test and tweak and try and run experiments. And that means changing your homepage. It means changing how you send emails out. It means, changing the design of things. It means changing your offer up. Test everything and constantly be testing. For example, if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see my banner image at the top. Every week I change it because I want to see how do I get the most response from people who view my profile. And so that's one type of test that I'm doing just with my LinkedIn. And I think we can all find things to test. But when you test, you find out if you document what works and what doesn't. Some weeks I see my response goes up and I think, what about this banner works better? Some weeks it goes down. I say, what about this turn people off or turn them away? So if you test and you write these things down, then you can start to tweak and narrow in on what really works and what doesn't. And that's what our insights. And a lot of people talk about insights like, what is an insight? An insight is acquired knowledge about what works and what doesn't based on data that you've run a test on or tried something that worked or didn't. And it's not wrong if it doesn't work, because if it doesn't work, you still learn something and you're getting closer to success. So I think testing is the key to driving predictable growth, because if you test enough, you can find out what works and what doesn't work. And then guess what? You can do more of what works and less of it doesn't work. And in concept, it's so simple, and it's all about execution and discipline to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have to really let the number and the data speaks, right? I mean, because we can't just like try everything and see which one, like, what works, but
Yes,
we really have to look into our data and insights that you said, right? To find out what works.
absolutely. Yeah, you can't just like test one thing and say, oh, it didn't work, let's give up and let's try something else. You have to keep testing, keep focused, keep trying. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you just keep testing and keep trying, and you'll find what works and what doesn't if you're thoughtful and reflective and don't just launch a test and hope that something would be better. It's not a magic pill, but it's a process that over time delivers substantial results. For example, one of my clients has an e-commerce site. They sell pet water fountains and pet litter boxes and things like that. And they had a button for the cart. You add stuff to your cart and there's a cart button there. And it was like literally like this big. It was tiny. And so we said, what if we make it bigger so people don't miss it? So once you add things to your cart, you can go and find it. Again, simple idea, but doing that increased revenue by $200,000 in 12
Wow.
months just by making the button bigger. And that's one small test where we said, what if we change this thing? Could it have not worked? Absolutely. But we keep testing, we keep trying. So you never know what will work and what won't. You just have to come up with ideas and prioritize them and then test, test, test.
And why is it sometimes though we look at like you said, we look at what other people are doing, in terms of marketing strategies, and then we copy them. We copy exactly what
Yes.
they, but it doesn't work for us. Like, why is that?
These are such great questions. I wish everyone asked this because I've been in so many meetings with huge companies that some of the listeners would know. And this is what they do. They say, well, look at that company or competitor. Look at
Yes.
their page. Let's copy that, or let's copy that image or that copy or those words. And it's ridiculous. And they assume that because whoever is doing this, it must work, or they must have figured it out. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, for everybody listening to this, I've been in so many of these meetings. No one knows what works. Okay. No one has any idea. Everyone is clueless. And I'm
Really?
happy to tell you that, because this is why you need a test. You can't trust what other people are saying. You can't trust what other people are doing. And just because some company or some person is doing it doesn't mean it actually works. You have to find out what works for you, because your brand and your message and your customers and your audience are different, are unique. And you have to find out what works for you, not what works for them. And guess what? It probably doesn't even work for them.
Yes. I love
It's
it.
true.
Yes, so true. Yeah. So can you share any of your secrets or I would say, unconventional strategies? Like it's not like what we always hear about marketing, like run ads, create funnels, but unconventional strategies that marketers or entrepreneurs can implement to stand out. I would say because in today's market it's so crowded and so noisy,
Yes,
how do we stand out? Like what are some of the unconventional strategies? If you don't
absolutely. I think one of the biggest things, which it's conventional, but it's also unconventional, is what I call customer proximity. We talked about this in the beginning. I think whoever's closest to the customer wins. And I think we've lost touch of that with social media and with ads and with AI. We want the easy button we can just press and have everything work instead of, contact sports with our customers where we say, let's go talk to people. Let's go talk to our customers. Let's call up people who used to work with us who don't. Let's talk to people who could work with us and not try to sell them anything, but just ask them, what are they worried about? What are they thinking about? And this is going back years and years, like 101. Get to know your customer, talk to them, survey them, actually have a conversation with them. And that's scary to a lot of people because, what if they don't like me, or what if they say this, or what if they don't like my product? That's okay. You need to learn that to know how to change it to make it better so that they actually do like it. And if they don't like it, I'd rather know in a conversation that takes, 15, 20 minutes than spend a bunch of money and time and effort trying to advertise and market to people and not have success. So if more people, especially entrepreneurs, went and talked to people who could be their customer or to their current customers or to their past customers, they would learn a lot of really valuable things. And I'll tell you that I recently did this myself. I talked to a lot of people who could be prospective customers. I talked to my current customers, not all of them, but it was shocking. The things that I thought they were concerned about that they weren't, and the things that they are concerned about that I had no idea. And so you can learn a lot and it doesn't cost anything except for your time. So there's no excuse not to do it.
Wow, yeah, market research, right? Know your customers.
Yes.
Yeah, especially if you're just getting started, that is like the first step. You have to talk to
Yes.
people, and that
Yeah.
one of the biggest mistakes I see many people make is that they create a product or create an offer and then they
Yeah.
try to sell it and they try to sell it to right?
Yes. And they think, oh, it didn't work. Well, no one's buying it. Well, you didn't
Yes.
talk to the people. And even to your point, we should have done in the beginning, but even large companies or startups who are growing, they don't keep doing that. It's not a one-time thing that you do it and then you know everything about your customer. Your customers are changing. There's new products in the market. There's new services. AI is changing everything. You have to keep talking to your customers. So at least once a year, if not, twice a year, every quarter, talk to a couple of customers, have a party or invite them to a dinner or jump on a Zoom or one-on-one, whatever you have to do, but keep talking to customers. Whoever does that the most, frankly, wins the game. It's all about talking to them and hearing what they're saying and what they're concerned about. And there's a really big company right now, an AI company, and I'm in a group of CMOs, and they're looking to create a customer advisory board to talk to customers to understand better, how to guide the product and how to get customer feedback and what people really care about as they shift and, try to make sense of this dynamic market. So big companies, small companies, startups are all doing this. And the most successful people are the ones who talk to their customers.
Wow. Yes, I love that. So yeah, well, I feel like I could talk to you for hours. But I know it's late for you, so I will not take out too much of your time. But what do you really want people to take away from our conversation?
I think a couple things, three things I'd say. First, really prioritize on the fundamentals and consistency over time. I've been a solo practitioner now for 12 or 13 years. And it's a journey, it's a roller coaster. But the key thing I've learned that I can partake to everybody is be consistent. Do the fundamentals, do them really well, and be consistent. And that leads me to the second thing, which is you need people and you need process. So decide which you have and get the one you don't have. If you need people, go and find the right people with the process we talked about. Or if you need process, just write a document that says, here's how we do this, here's when we do this, and here's who does it. It's really simple. Just build a simple process that someone can follow and do. I think the third thing that we talked about here is customers. Go talk to people. It's not hard. It is intimidating, but it will change everything about how you think about customers and how you market in your message if you just go talk to people. And don't do it one time. Keep doing it as much as you can, because the more you talk to them, the more you learn, and the easier the whole thing becomes.
Yeah, and don't just talk to one person and think you have the answers, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. It's so true. It's so
I
true.
love it. Yeah, I love everything you said. I'm personally learning a lot from you as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Now tell my listeners where they can find you online, or if they want to work with you, have a consultation one-on-one, like where they can find you.
Absolutely. I'm on LinkedIn. You can search for my name there, Tim Parkin, or on timparkin.com. And if you want to shoot me an email, tim@timparkin.com, I can send you an assessment if you have a team, want to see where they're at, how you can improve them, or a roadmap if you're building a team, where you're at now and where to go. Both free resources, happy to share them. But let's connect on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to help you any way I can.
Love it. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I hope you learned a lot from today's episode, and go follow Tim on LinkedIn and go to his website. He has a lot of free resources for you. I will put all the links, in the show note below. So if you have any questions, please send us a message, or you can leave a comment below if you're watching this on YouTube, and we will happy to get back to you. If you want to learn how to build your confidence, visibility, and authority, this podcast is for you. Remember to follow me as well on Instagram for our regular updates and insights. Remember to subscribe so you'll never miss another juicy episode with me and my awesome guests. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening today. Until next time, keep showing up. Success doesn't show up for you until you show up and pursue your own success. Thank you for listening to the Show Up Show with me, Joanne Chan. If you want to create more confidence, visibility, and authority in your business, send me a message on Instagram @JoanneChanCoaching. DM me the word show up, and I will send you my free signature training, Visibility Creates Possibilities, that you can watch right away to start exploding your visibility today.